Good morning. It's another episode of Tackle Talk. I'm going to talk to you a little bit about some jigs, some different types of designs, and some things you may want to look for. So, first jig I'm going to show you is a ZMan jig, and it is called Redfish Eyes by ZMan. I don't know why this camera is out of sync here today. So I'm trying to show you right here. Okay. There has a large eye on it, large pupil. It has two barbs. They are about 1/4 inch from the head, and they are over and under. I hope you can see that okay. Try not to shake too much, trying to hold this. So that is the ZMan Redfish Eyes. And it does not have a very big barb on the hook itself. I don't know how well you can see this. That might help a little bit. Okay, so now we're going to show you the ZMan Trout Eyes type jig. So here we go. So there you go. It's a smaller pupil. You're going to see more whites of the eye. The barbs are closer to the head, almost all the way to the head. It's not directly over and under. It's a little bit offset. That is to hold your soft plastics on, just like the Redfish Eyes. So what I'm going to try and do is have them mirrored, and so you can take a look at the two different styles. So there you go. There's a big eye with the barbs about 1/4 inch from the head, the small pupil with the whites of the eyes, and they are not directly over under. So those are two types of jigs you can get for soft baits. And you can see I do not know the aught size on these, but there's two different sizes. This is smaller and this is larger. That would be more for snook and redfish, and that's why it's called Redfish Eyes. Okay, now we're going to move on to some different, more generic type jig. This is a ball head, unpainted ball head. Has a very small hook. It's more for like panfish, and it has a single barb. Hopefully you can see that. It has a single barb, and that is to hold your bait on. This could be used for a lot of different, like frozen shrimp or things of that nature, or whatever you're using for freshwater. It could be used with some soft plastics. It's not going to hold it as firm because there's not as much barb there to hold it on. So I'm just showing you the different types of eyes, and you're not going to have any eyes at times, but these will work if you're using it the proper way. So that's 3 different types of jigs. So now we're going to go to a smaller type jig, very similar to the Trout Eyes, and this is a different brand. This brand is from Live Bottom. That's a different fishing brand. And this middle brand right here is just a little eagle claw ball head type jig. Okay, so here's one small version of the Live Bottom. It has the 2 over and under barbs, approximately 1/4 inch from the head. The head's a little bit smaller, and the eyes are smaller, but they do fill up the whole whatever you want to call it, the eye cavity. So there's I don't know how well you can see it. I don't know why this thing is all out of whack here. There's a small pupil, and there's a little bit lighter color around that. Sorry, I was a little out of the picture there. But it's a smaller size hook that can be for soft plastics, and you can use like a frozen type shrimp. So here is another type of jig head. I believe they call these like football type heads. This is also by Live Bottom, but you're going to see it's a different design, and if this would lay on the bottom, it's going to stand upright. These other jigs are not going to do that. They're going to fall over. They're going to fall over, but that's depends on what type of plastics you use. It could stay vertical, and how you're going to move that. And so, once again, here's your small, no painted eyes. It's going to lay flat on the bottom. It has a little nub for the barb, just a little tiny nub, and this would be good for using like frozen shrimp and some things like that. So there's I've seen, I do have a couple of jigs very, very similar, almost identical to this, but it has a circle hook for the hook. But if you know anything about circle hooks, they're usually offset a little bit. So on this, it's totally straight and it's not offset. And the one I have that has the circle hook on there, it is not offset either. And I started thinking why you would not, you don't see that more often, the circle hook type jig heads. And it dawned on me, if it was offset like a true circle hook, then your jig would be falling over, because it's not going to be, the weight distribution is going to be a little bit different. So those are some of the different types of things you can look for in jig heads. I know there's a charter captain out of Fort Myers Beach, Captain Mike Denegre, and he uses some real big Lunker City unpainted jig heads. It's just basically like this, or just raw like that color right there. It's not as shiny as this. It's more like this color right here, and he slays the fish on those. And I'm pretty sure he uses the 1/16 size hook. I forget the size of the hook. I want to say it was 4/0 or something. I don't remember the size of the hook, but very, very sharp, pointy type hooks on those jig heads. So there's many different types of jigs. It really depends on how you're going to use it, and the thickness, the diameter of like, if you're using a real thin soft worm or something, it probably not going to do very good on something like this, because with two barbs on there, you have a chance to actually break the soft bait there. Something like this might work a little bit better. When I'm saying worm, any type of soft bait, could be a little paddle tail or something like that. So those are some of the things you want to look for. I realize it's not a great wealth of knowledge I'm providing you today, but it's something to think about. Like I say, a lot of the captains and really successful fishermen swear by the larger eyes. So I know there was a company called Coty that always had real big eyes. I don't know if they're still around. I haven't seen any of their jigs in any of the tackle or bait shops or any big department stores. So just a few things to think about with jig heads. And if you have any thoughts you want to share, I'm more than willing to listen and hear. And you tell me your thoughts on how you use the different type of jigs, and when and where and why. So appreciate it. Thank you. Have a great day.